Well, Canada and India have a long and wonderful, warm relationship, and this is an opportunity for us to expand not only our people-to-people relationship, but also our business relationship.
You know, India and Canada, as you said, are collaborating. The Canadian Pension Fund is invested into India. We have a long-standing business relationship with Canada. What are the sectors in Canada that are really important for Indian companies to look at?
Well, the province that I represent is Ontario, and it's about 40% of the population and the business of Canada. And we see a great opportunity for infrastructure and for technology sectors to be enhanced, both of those.
So what are your expectations from this visit with business and business collaboration?
Well, we've brought a trade mission with us, so we have 12 Ontario businesses specifically in technology and infrastructure who are here to meet with other business organizations on the India side. And we from our government, have been having business-to-business meetings as well, looking to expand our exports to India and, quite frankly, our imports from India as well.
You come to India, there's a certain conversation about India in the West, in Canada, in North America. What are your impressions of India? You've been here last 3 days. Yes. So give us your top 5 impressions about India.
Well, it's the people, just the warmth of the people. We have in Ontario, 830,000 people of Indian origin live in Ontario. We have 171,000 Indian tourists every year. So we're so familiar, but to be here, the warmth, the friendliness, the beauty, the architecture, the history, and the desire to take India to the next level, I think is really becoming evident. It's even different since my last time here. I've seen far more infrastructure development.
And of course, we have a leader in Narendra Modi. And what do you admire about him as a leader and what he could do better?
Well, the last time I was here, I met with Prime Minister Modi at his home. I found him to be a very warm and caring and sincere individual who has a vision for India that is even able to more serve the people of India. And I see it in his eyes that he really wants this vision to develop, and that's why we're here to help on some of these very specific Indian initiatives in terms of infrastructure growth and development.
See, ease of doing business in India is a reality now, and it's getting better. However, Canada is really easy in doing business. Tell us what makes Canada an attractive business destination for Indians.
Well, it's even better today in the province of Ontario. Our leader, Premier Doug Ford, has proclaimed Ontario open for business, open for jobs, and open for trade. But it's not a slogan. It's in the DNA. So the first thing our government is only 15 months old, and we have already carved $5 billion out of the costs of doing business. These are through government costs, tax reductions, reductions in premiums and other fees, all have been reduced to lower the cost of doing business by $5 billion last year. As an example, we have what's called an accelerated capital cost allowance, and that means you can write your cost of machinery, write the cost of that off within the first year. That's new. Cost the government about $700 million to do that. So about $5 billion in savings. So it really has made Ontario business friendly after so many years.
If you had to give one message for entrepreneurs, you already told us that you're a business friendly and you're making proactive efforts to kind of get the right kind of investors and entrepreneurs. If there's one thing you have to tell the entrepreneurs that apart from whatever you've told now, will attract them to Ontario?
I can do it in one word and then an expression: NAFTA. On the North America Free Trade Agreement, two things are new when that agreement is ratified. One is in the auto sector, the parts must be more locally produced. The number will go up from 62.5% to 75%. So there'll be fewer parts shipped in. You must make them locally. Ontario, Canada, the US, or in Mexico. So that's part of the answer. The other part is if you locate in Ontario, with all of the free trade agreements that we have with NAFTA and around the world, you have billions of dollars. In North America alone, $350 billion opportunity at your doorstep.
So you're saying you can have Ontario as a base and do business with North America.
Yes.
My last question. You're a leader in yourself. You work with a leader of Ontario. You'll meet leaders of Indian business community and political leaders. Do you think leaders need to understand something about the current environment that they're missing? Are there a new set of skills that leaders need to imbibe?
I will be selfish in my answer. Premier Ford, our leader, myself, we're business people. We're lifelong entrepreneurs, we're lifelong business people, and that's why our government now has open for business, open for jobs, open for trade. It's so business friendly because we understand that that is what's going to make our areas grow. And I can tell you, after we reduced the cost of doing business in Ontario, in 15 months, the business community responded by hiring 256,200 people.
That's a lot of people. So you're saying business can be like governance and politics, can be a catalyst for social good. That's what you're saying? Absolutely. Entrepreneurship. Though I said it's the last question, but Trump has this policy of America first. Would you say that at some stage you embrace Canada first, Ontario first? Is that something that you think about, and what do you have to say about that?
I think it's people first. And so we work in our government for the people. And I think that is the best way that we can approach everything we do. In our schools, it's for the kids. In our hospitals, it's for the patients. We put the people at the head of every decision that's made.
How would you judge the success of this trip? If you came back in 12 months, 24 months, where would you'd like to see the investments? What level of investments would you like to see? Because you said you're an entrepreneur, so you'd look at an ROI, you'd look at some numbers.
We now have a baseline, we know our number, and I was quite surprised at how low the export from Ontario to India is. It's less than $400 million for a country of 1.3 billion. So I want to see that number rise. And I know that my boss, Premier Ford, wants to see that metric increase as well. That's how we'll know.
All the best, and we hope to collaborate with you as a country and as a community. Yes. And I'm sure the timing is right for Ontario and India to partner.
We feel the same way.
All the best.
Thank you.